Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today's a great day for the MTA and Long Island and Floral Park as we open yet another accessible station here in this great Floral Park community. I'm Jano Lieber, President of MTA Construction Development, and I'm joined here by Cumel Arroyo, who is the Chief Accessibility Officer of MTA, my partner in all of these accessibility efforts. Floral Park Deputy Mayor Lynn Pombano. Is Lynn with us? An important member of the Floral Park leadership team, Village Trustee Archie Chang. Thank you for being here, Archie. Nadia Ortiz is here as well. She has been a key advocate for this project from the very start, and it's been a great partnership. Thank you. Q and I and everyone at the MTA share a commitment to create an inclusive transit system. ADA accessibility projects are going to continue to be one of our top priorities at the MTA in the years to come. But back to this project that we're here to celebrate today. 3 brand new elevators now operational here at Floral Park, providing access from the street to each of these 3 elevated platforms. I want to thank our project team, some of whom are standing behind me, led by Tom McGinnis, Anthony Tefano, and as also our partners at the contracting team, 3TC, including Alan Paskov, Javier Barobia, and Terrence Howard. All of them have contributed to bringing this project over the finish line. This new accessibility will pay dividends for this community, for a large swath of this community, and the 3,000 people who use this station every weekday. These improvements were developed based on community feedback that we at the MTA received when we were planning the third track, and we undertook a comprehensive environmental review and public involvement process as part of planning the third track project, which is formerly known as the Long Island Railroad Expansion Project. We want to thank everyone who participated in this effort, especially the local leadership who have given us such great support over the years. The third track project will introduce 10 miles of new track between Floral Park and Hicksville. Once completed, third track will help to increase Long Island Railroad daily capacity by 50%, allow us to provide real reverse commuting service for the first time on the Long Island Railroad, reduce congestion, protect the environment, and do so much else for communities on the main line. Most important, perhaps, is that by eliminating 8 grade crossings throughout the third track project area, we're changing safety. These are grade crossings that have been responsible for many, many accidents, including fatal accidents over the years, and now we're eliminating those safety risks. The project continues to be a model for how we at the MTA can deliver infrastructure projects, as I say, faster, better, and cheaper. We're using design build on this project, and as a result, we're moving forward on schedule and actually slightly under budget. I know that's shocking to hear about an MTA project, but that's the truth. We love hearing that kind of news at MTA Construction and Development. Design build, the project delivery system we're using here, has helped us to get better value and pricing on many projects. The 3 elevators we're opening today cost $10 million. It's a lot of money, but it is much less than what we're getting on other projects, and I attribute that in part to design build, but also because this is a project where we can buy and install elevators without having to tear up the whole infrastructure of the station, which is part of the challenge that we have in the New York City subway system where ADA projects tend to cost much more. We're happy to be able to knock out accessibility projects like this one inexpensively, or at least at reasonable cost, more and more frequently. Now, this is an exciting time for Long Island. We're building back better after this unprecedented crisis to set the region up for success in generations to come. And the third track project, as folks know, is going to be joined by the East Side Access Project, which is going to, for the first time, allow Long Island Railroad commuters to go directly into Grand Central. So if you're working on the east side of Midtown, it's going to save you a ton of time every day. The pandemic has really underscored the need for an inclusive transit system that serves all New Yorkers. It's the best way we can speed our economic recovery and create a much fairer and more livable region for all of our residents. So with that, let me turn it over to my partner, MTA Chief Accessibility Officer, Kumel Arroyo. Q.
Thank you, Jano. I'm thrilled to be here today. I'm thrilled to be here today for my first Long Island Railroad opening as MTA's Chief Accessibility Officer. I have a broad vision for accessibility across the entire MTA rail system, including the LIR, Metro North, and our New York City subways. Bringing that vision to life isn't easy. It involves retrofitting infrastructure that is more than 100 years old. To give you an idea, this station was built in 1878 and retrofitted in the early 1960s. The contractors behind it definitely did not have wheelchair users like myself and members of the disability community in mind then. But that's no excuse not to act now. I'm so proud of the way the MTA is modernizing to create a more inclusive system for everyone. And I'm glad to see such a robust level of community engagement in these projects. New York State needs accessible public transportation to power its recovery and bring millions of people back to work, to school, and cultural centers and entertainment. New Yorkers and visitors with disabilities and so many others need and benefit from accessibility features like the ones we're seeing here today, especially parents with strollers, seniors with mobility needs, and many others must be included in that revival. From Floral Park to Long Beach to the Hamptons, it's going to be a great summer in Long Island. And as the region recovers, I'm proud to be part of that work to ensure that all New Yorkers and visitors can take advantage of everything that the island has to offer. Now I'll turn it over to Floral Park Village Trustee Archie Chang, and also the Village Liaison to the Long Island Railroad. Archie.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Mayor Fitzgerald, Deputy Mayor Lynn Pompano, Trustees Frank Chiara, and Trustee Jen Stewart, Village Administrator Bambrick, welcome to the Village of Floral Park. The Village of Floral Park is pleased to see this much anticipated improvement to the Floral Park Long Island Railroad Station come to completion. For over 10 years, our village mayors, trustees, and residents have advocated for accessibility to the platform level of our station, whether they may be those with physical and other challenges, our seniors, our parents and caretakers traveling with children, people carrying luggage or packages, and those who simply have experienced a long day's work and need relief from dozens and dozens of steps to the platform. Our advocacy for this important project has been ongoing and collective, as we have attended and given testimony at numerous hearings and discussed same with our legislators. We would like to thank the MTA Long Island Railroad in listening to the Village Board and our residents' requests during the EIS process in having this important addition included in the mainline expansion project, as well as the memorandum of understanding between the village and the railroad. We would also like to thank 3TC for their part in this process and for being accessible and being, to the best of their ability, responsive to our concerns. Improving access to public transportation is extremely important, and we look forward to continue working with the Long Island Railroad towards enhancing the level of service offered at the Floral Park Station, fulfilling their other obligations stated in the Memorandum of Understanding, which include, and I quote, improve lighting, benches, railings, signage, wayfinding, and the repair and replacement of damaged wheelchair curb cuts on their property, as well as former President Nowakowski's June 2017 commitment to include a modernized Floral Park Railroad Station in the MTA's 2020-2024 capital program. Again, we thank everybody involved in this, and we are, as a village, extremely happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Archie. This is a very exciting day for all of us, right? The MTA, the Long Island Railroad, and the village here at Floral Park. We're celebrating the opening of our 108th accessible station here in the Long Island Railroad. 108 out of 124. We're almost there, Jano. And I am particularly pleased to introduce our next speaker. It is my pleasure to introduce Nadia Palomichi Orti, a local resident who brought our attention to this accessibility need. Nadia, thank you for advocating for universal access. You represent the best of us, and I look forward to seeing you at the Long Island Railroad. Can we check on this mic?
No, it's better.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here. I can't explain it. Because the completion of this project represents what can be achieved when advocates, local officials, state governments, and agencies work together. Accessible public transportation or universal design benefits every resident of Nassau County. It provides affordable options that bring employment, healthcare, education, housing, and community life within reach for the disabled, for senior citizens, for our veterans, and for families with young children. I am thankful to Governor Cuomo's administration for including this design in the third track project, and to Mr. Philip Eng, President of the MTA, LIRR, for continuing his efforts to provide equitable service to all of Long Island. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. We're going to do Q&A, but I just want to issue a short statement on one topic first. An important topic, our mask policy. We're aware that there are some questions in the public about where we stand now following recent announcements by the governor and federal health officials. So just to be clear, masks are still required on all indoor parts of our system. That includes onboard trains and subways and in buses and at indoor stations. At this time, though, in accordance with CDC and Federal Railroad Administration guidance, masks are not necessary on outdoor platforms and outdoor areas of stations in general. This policy applies for customers across the system, whether you're riding Metro North to Poughkeepsie, taking the Long Island Railroad to Floral Park or parts east, or commuting to work as usual on a subway or bus. So with that preliminary, we'll take questions on the Floral Park project, third track as well. Alfonso? Please.
Hi. A question for Nadia. Could you just tell us what the experience was of trying to take the train out of here without an elevator?
Yeah, this one. Oh, this one. Oh, okay, very good. Perfect. So it would always be that I'd have to go to New Hyde Park or Garden City. It was never, I'm literally down the road. So for me, this now just makes things, it opens up everything. And it's not only for me, again, it's for 25% of our population in Floral Park will benefit alone. When you count the seniors, when you count children with families, when you count the disabled, it's 25% of our population. That's huge. So everyone will benefit. But for me, it was I'd have to go to Garden City or I'd have to go to New Hyde Park, plan parking, wherever. You know, I'm very familiar with this area, so I know where I can just pull right in. It makes things, it takes away an extra step. Often disabled people or people that need accommodations always have to make an extra step in planning a route, even if it's spontaneous. This took away that extra step.
And what I would add, if I may, is our goal is to have the experience of using public transit be identical for a person who's mobility impaired or has some special need as the rest of the population. We want it to be so that everybody looks at the same subway or railroad map. Folks who have special conditions, special needs, mobility impairments, or if they're moving with a stroller, shouldn't have to look at the map of the system differently than the rest of the population. That's the goal.
Other questions? Yes, ma'am. All right, it's like Hollywood.
All right.
We move the boom.
Can you hear me okay? All right. Okay, so some of the changes to elevators or to stations by adding these elevators were done because of a lawsuit against MTA that alleged that you violated the American Disabilities Act by not installing these elevators. Is that the case here?
Look, the MTA has a really aggressive accessibility investment program. In the current capital program, we're putting 70 stations in the New York City subway. We're doing a huge chunk of what remains on the Long Island Railroad and on Metro North as well, which are much closer to full accessibility. So the commitment to accessibility is not about litigation. It's about that this is a principle that we want to embrace. And to prove that, during COVID, which was a really tough time for the MTA, we completed the most stations that we've ever completed in a single year. Notwithstanding COVID, in 2020 we completed 11 stations in the New York City transit system, which has got the furthest to go in terms of accessibility. Proof that we're really prioritizing it, even with a much more constrained financial picture.
Off topic, Jano, it was just over a week ago that you were nominated to be the new CEO of MTA. Some hiccups along the way. Can you give us an update on where things are and just kind of your general reaction to everything that's happened over the last week?
Look, listen, I'm really honored that the governor has nominated me to be the CEO. I think it's an honor really that's due to the team at MTA Construction Development, because I think we've proven that we can get an enormous amount of work done and make the MTA capital program more effective, as I always say, faster, better, and cheaper. So it's really a team success that the governor would consider me for that role. Alfonso, I'm not going to comment on what's going on in Albany. The governor and the legislature have a lot of business, and I know that that topic will be addressed in due course, but right now it's not appropriate for me to comment on it, other than to say I'm honored for the consideration.